Now, it's one of the flagship achievements of the Obama administration. As we've just been hearing in the last few minutes, we're learning that the United States Supreme Court has upheld Barack Obama's health care reform bill. The Supreme Court making that decision in the last few minutes. Let's speak to our guests in the studio, Republican commentator Stacy Hilliard, and also chair of the UK branch of Democrats Abroad, Rob Carolina. Now, Stacy, what we're hearing from, first of all to you, we're hearing from Washington that this has now been upheld in large part. I mean, that's the end of your cause, is it not?
Oh, I don't think so. When 68% of Americans that were surveyed at the beginning of this month said that they wanted the Supreme Court to actually strike down the individual mandate, I think this will actually play very well into the Republican hands leading into the election. Why?
Now, I'd really like to know, what is it about universal health care that is so unpalatable to so many Americans? It is an unpopular thing, and not just among Republicans. If you listen to the rhetoric that there has been about it, so many people see this as some kind of invasion of their freedom.
It is. Well, I think people look at it as going against their choice, their ability to choose what type of health care they want, what type of coverage they want. I think in the U.S. the debate's not really about universal health care. What it's about is about insurance and mandating people to own insurance. And this is the first time that the government has ever said that American citizens are required to purchase a private product and will be fined if they don't do so. I think that's where the real argument is.
Rob, I've read something like 48% of Democrats don't even like this idea. What's going on? Why is it so unpopular?
Well, what's going on today is a great victory for the American people. What we've had is the Supreme Court following more than 70 years of constitutional law precedent, saying this is an appropriate law, it's an important law, and frankly, today's also a pretty big victory for my friends in the Republican Party. After all, the individual mandate was something that their party invented in cooperation with the Heritage Foundation. Governor Romney passed exactly this idea that you're required to buy insurance. And in the United States and here in England as well, we've understood this idea of being required to buy insurance for decades. You and I, when we go to get our car relicensed or renew every year, we buy car insurance. We're required to by law. We're so far beyond that. It's amazing that people are concerned about this.
Stacy, yeah, you pay for your house to be insured, your car to be insured. Why not for your own body to be insured?
Well, individuals do buy health insurance, and I think the debate in the U.S. is one about, yes, Romney did put in a health care mandate in a state, not in the federal sense. And I think that's the other argument, is that there's a big discussion around state rights, and that the federal government has overstepped its bounds in many people's feeling. But
so you think you would be comfortable with this as at a state level, like the state of Massachusetts, where Romney's idea took fruition? I mean, you would be, if you were a citizen of Massachusetts, you'd be saying, fine, this is okay, but you just don't like it for the whole country.
That's correct. And I think one of the things, especially with this type of health care coverage, is that they're mandating a certain type of coverage that's a blanket coverage for everybody across the United States. And your health care issues from state to state are very different. Your population makeup is very different. And it's something that's not appropriate for every individual.
Everybody needs health care, surely. I mean, whatever population you belong to.
Yes, and the debate should actually be about insurance reform and not about health care reform. The quality of health care in the U.S. is top, but the expense of it, everybody can get on board and say that it's too expensive. And there's lots of things that the federal government should have done from a federal sense that could have helped lower the costs.
Rob, you're smiling. I'm presuming it's a smile of not agreeing with Stacy.
Well, no, actually, I agree completely with Stacy. We in the Democratic Party began a debate about health care reform, and it was the Republican Party who said, no, we should be talking about insurance reform. And in a spirit of bipartisanship, we adopted their policy. That's what this is. This was a Republican policy that was folded into an otherwise very large, very important law about health care in the United States. And now that we've done that and gone forward, the next argument was, oh, well, we don't like it because we have this obscure constitutional argument about how 70 years of settled Supreme Court law is wrong. I'm sorry, today is a great result for the American people. It's a great step forward for the cause of health care in America.
I just want to get from you, Rob, as you are a supporter of this idea, what essentially it changes in America? Because for people watching around the world who might not know how the system works, there's also this idea that there are people who go completely without health care because they have no money. They have to just hope they're not going to get ill.
Well, this is something that many of your viewers may find absolutely shocking, is that in the United States, up till now, it's been perfectly acceptable for millions of people to, they could get sick, they could have some catastrophe befall them, and have no financial support or no guaranteed access to health care, no guaranteed financial support of any type. Most of our viewers around the world will find that shocking and stunning. What this law has done is made a series of key revisions to the law that allow things that say, for example, that insurance providers are not allowed to turn people away because of pre-existing conditions. But what it's also done importantly is it's laid down the principle that everyone in the United States is supposed to have some type of health care coverage, either public or private.
Stacey, I must just give you a chance to come in there. What is wrong? I mean, essentially, with that universal idea, many people in the world would just not understand why on earth you would object to everybody being protected.
Well, in the U.S., you have those people on benefits are covered with Medicaid. You have the elderly who are covered with Medicare. And it's the people who are self-employed, the people who work for small businesses. That's where the problem is. And that's why health care insurance needs to be more affordable, but not overhaul the entire system.
Stacy Hilliard and Rob Carolina, thank you so much indeed. I sense this might go on in terms of the discussions about it. Thank you very much indeed. Now, just before we go, we're getting reports from Pakistan.